This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile, powered by SABC Sport. Exclusive to Metro FM. Game over.
It's exactly 9 after the hour, 6 on the mighty Metro FM. I question often, and I ask the questions about football. Is it an honest man's sport, really? Because everything that we've spoken about on this here show is coming to light in life, isn't it? We asked Chifiwe Tidiela about the fact that he's acquiring all stars. This was a month ago. The deal just happened today after what you've just heard, which is basically denials of it happening. I saw reports today pointing out Ranga in a certain place in Joburg. I don't know. Welcome to it. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube on the mighty Metro FM. What you're hearing is obviously not the acousticness of the beautiful studios of the Metro FM building out in Auckland Park in Johannesburg, but we are instead wearing suits. Nadeem is wearing an Arsenal suit, but it's a suit nonetheless. I've got Kaizer in front of me with a coat. You know, guys are looking great because we are guests this evening.
Yeah.
We're being hosted by the President himself. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa has invited us, and he's hosting us at the Presidential Guest House out in Pretoria, not too far from his main residence, Matlambandlovu. But it is not on our own strength that we are here. Yes, we do such a great job that the President knows who we are, but it is not at our own strength that we're here. We're here on the strength of Banyana Banyana. The national women's team will be announced today. The 23 players that are going to the World Cup down under are going to be announced today. We've been invited to be a part of it. SABC Sport are going to be televising it live at the Presidential Guest House. So, you know, we're going to be speaking today about a different sort of goat, and that goat is going to be the topic of conversation. Before that, we'll touch on the week that was. Ranga Chibabiro, that's it. I had to learn it this week. Pitso Mosimane, Maritzburg United. All of this went through our doors this week. We'll go through it. Nadeem Lukela's here. Mkonza Skizo's here. All the way in Durban, Pro Pilan is here. Hey, it's the one show that you look forward to every single week. You look forward to a Friday because you know that the guys are here. It's Podcast Friday on the mighty Metro FM. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. Remember, if you do miss a show, just get onto our podcast. It's on metrofm.co.za and the shows are all there. If you want to watch the show live, get onto YouTube, Andile Ncube, and you'll see that the live shows are there as well, and you can get to see and watch it instead. We're going to be putting up a podcast pretty soon. I'm telling you now, revolutionary things are going to be happening here on the Sports That Amplified with Andile, as well as this Friday show going live as we are now, but live where you are, where you and your friends are sitting. We're going to bring the show to you. Speaking of me and my friends, here they are. It's Podcast Friday. Skizos, PM Kaizer, former Kaizer Chiefs, Amazulu, Golden Arrows, Gibala, Super Sports United. I could go on, and Bafana player is sitting opposite me. Skizo?
Ma-awkrent.
I
think babulise makaya si pusha la Union Building. Hey, agumnandi stokfela la.
And of course, the laugh that you're hearing belongs to the man that the country loves to hate. It's Nadeem.
Andile, good like bala. Yeah. No, of course, it's the first time.
In the president's
seeing so
home,
many.
yeah.
No, definitely, it's a beautiful place. Yeah, can't say much
And,
because I still want to get out.
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Fundi Supilan.
Pilani is Pilani.
Good evening, good Andile. Good evening to the gents in studio, and good evening. In the Union Buildings. Come on, and good evening to all the listeners of this number one sports show in South Africa.
Listen, you're going to be watching it on TV in about an hour or so. The announcement of Banyana Banyana, the squad that is going to the World Cup. It's going to be live on SABC Sports, of course, SABC One. And we're going to be here in the building watching them. We've seen the players already. What are you expecting? Are there any things that or any players perhaps that you think cannot miss out on, Pilane?
As long as Thembi Kgatlana is there, as long as Andile Dlamini is there, as long as Rafile Jane is there, these are my fighters. I know that when these players are in the Banyana team, the sky is the limit. So I'm just hoping that Coach Des will not surprise us and will not submarine these names, but make sure that she announced them. I know that Banyana will make us proud. It's going to be a better performance compared to what happened in France 2019. And I'm counting on her to select the best players available for South Africa.
Well, we're going to get into the women's conversation in just a bit. But, gents, it's been a long week. It's a week where we hosted Pitso Mosimane in studio. A great conversation that unveiled so much with Pitso Mosimane, the now new coach of Al Mahda. But also, there was breaking news with the chairman of Maritzburg United, Farouk Katodia, who wrote a scathing letter that was aimed at not only his players, but it was aimed at Fadlu Davids as well, who's now gone on to be hired and has got a new job, Fadlu Davids, and he hasn't had much to say, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get him at some point. He's joined Raja Casablanca at the moment. Pilane, you probably got that mail before all of us. What do you make of what Maritzburg United, through their chairman, had to say about the ending of Maritzburg United's tenure in the Premier League?
But Andile, you go back to the match they played against Cape Town Spurs in Cape Town, and you look at the goal they conceded, and then you try to look at the performances of certain players, and you read the statement, and then you press play, and you rewind, and you watch the performances, and you watch the passes, you watch the lack of sense of urgency. At times, you go and watch the second leg against Cape Town Spurs at the Henry Quarter Stadium, and you look at the urgency of the players at 0-0. You look at how they behaved in the first 15 minutes, first half, in the last 15 minutes, and you look at the chairman's statement again, and you say maybe the chairman is justified to say that there was a lack of interest in the players. The longer it took them to get into Cape Town Spurs final set, the more they were frustrated, and the more they looked disinterested, especially in the final stages of the game. So for me, I'm not saying I'm agreeing with the statement of the chairman, but I do feel that when you look at the performances of the players, I'm sure some of the players are disappointed with the way that they performed on the day, and it's so unfortunate that the chairman feels the way that he feels. But I do feel that at the end of the day, it's Maritzburg United that got relegated. It's the 50 million rand that has gone down the drain, and it's said that the people of Maritzburg are not going to watch the DSTV Premiership for the 2023-2024 season, and they're going to watch the Motsepe Foundation.
Let's put it down as it is, because I think we're going around the bush here a little bit. What the chairman is essentially saying is alluding to the fact that he thinks that it was beyond footballing reasons why they lost.
Where's the proof?
Well, the proof, he says, is if you need one goal and your coach and the players have no urgency to score and they're sitting back the whole time, something is not right.
Yeah, you can't talk about something that don't want to prove your hand. Maukalung accused that you didn't perform. Then you must support and qualify.
Because you're a former player.
Yes. And
has cheating never ever come across your table? Has nobody ever said, Kens,
let me put it in perspective. We lose a match, it's either you've sold the game. And I don't know, model, but this has been there.
What do you mean? You're saying this is something that he said before?
Yeah, and the timing respect. When we lose a match, then we start questioning Lapa didn't perform, Lapa didn't do that, because model in respect. 15 years in the PSL, they've been changed their model. I think for minimum respect, it was time for Gomuba restart about long season. They've been done well. In league Andile, a season, it's about planning. Respect didn't plan. The last 3 matches are my playoff. Those are not the matches that you sit down and start pointing fingers. What happened throughout the season? You've made some dreadful errors along the season, from the Matuka, from the recruitment policy that Yako as a club. In modern respect, 15 years, it hasn't changed. They expected to come out different.
Because this is breaking news. Yeah, you're saying this is not the first time. You're saying that Farouk Katodia, as the chairman, when you were playing there, he would say the same thing.
Same thing. Mina, there was a game we played against Golden Arrows, and I got injured in the first minute of the match. He played Andile. Then I had to come out because being a sabon with the right eye. And I was told after match, you sold the game against Arrows because I've played for Arrows. So they said you sold the match. I said, this is the model. You can ask any former Maritzburg player. They'll tell you, Nama been accused of that. It's a model of how they do things.
Welcome to it. It's Sports Not Amplified with Andile all the way in Durban. We've got Pro Pilane, we've got Skizo here as well as Nadim. We're speaking about things that came out this week, the news that made headlines. We're touching on the week that was. And the big thing was Maritzburg United's chairman writing a scathing letter, pointing fingers at some of the players, pointing fingers at the coach even, because he says he doesn't understand the instructions from the bench when that was happening. Mkonza, what you're hearing now, of course, like I said, we're not in our normal studios. We're out at the presidential guest house where we are being hosted by the president in order to host Banyana Banyana as well. Nadim, you heard what Mkonza says. He says it's not the first time.
Yeah, I heard that. It's unfortunate that they didn't start the season well, and at the end of the day, they are relegated. They have to blame someone. I think the problem started with how they've been playing this season. They've not been a good team. As you see, they've only won 7 out of 30 matches. Definitely, it's a sign for relegation. They deserve to be where you are. Even in the playoffs, they only were able to beat Kaizer FC. They couldn't even score a goal against Cape Town. So I honestly feel that it's unfortunate that Fatu Davids now is going to be accused as someone who's selling games, and some of the players will be accused as they are dodgy players. They'll be doubted.
But what do you think of Fatu's tactics in that last game in particular?
I think that's what he has been since he joined the team in January. He's been playing like that. He has not been really impressive, going all out. If he was not happy with how Fatu David was playing, you could have replaced him just like Chipampenges was doing. I can't believe that the owner actually let Fatu David's the team not attacking, and he was not happy with it. He let him actually even in the playoffs. You have to make changes at one point in time and say, okay, look, I'm not happy with how you do things. I'm fighting for my team status. So you can't wait till the last game. Of course, you have to change immediately, because you know that at the end of the day you're going to be relegated and go to the NFD and play low after being in the PSL for so many years. I honestly feel so many changes they could have been made in terms of coaching. I honestly think the whole thing of blaming Fadlu Davids and how the team was playing, I think it's nonsense.
They're looking for a scapegoat. I think for pointing fingers at players and Fadlu,
it doesn't even make sense.
But what you are saying is Fadlu should have been fired way before the playoffs.
Immediately, you're not happy with him.
You're
happy with how he's staying. You see,
but even you, looking at it and looking at his results and looking at what he was doing in the football he was playing, you think he shouldn't have made it to the playoffs?
No, I'm not doubting Fadlu. Fadlu has been poor since he joined Maritzburg United.
Hence, then he shouldn't have made it to the playoffs.
No, the owner allowed him. Fadlu was poor. He allowed him. He decided to bring him back. The results were not coming all along.
Yeah, but the foundation also is set up. Matuka was not a foundation is solid for Fadlu to come as a span, because when you start the team, it's pre-season. That's when we can judge you. When it's important to look at the foundation. If foundation they started with, you've just spoken about, they only won 7 games. They've conceded 44 goals.
Yes.
I mean, defense is the foundation of any team. So in my respect, I prefer Neba is stupid.
He's the one actually who made the team relegated, because he saw that Fadlu is not the owner.
So he doesn't coach the team, he doesn't select.
Yeah, but he's the one who appointed Fadlu, who he feel that actually he was not doing well. He should have gotten someone who was going to do better than him.
All right, let's move on from this one. You can make up your own minds as to what you think of this year. Banyana Banyana, the team selection is happening out at the presidential guest house. The president hosting Banyana Banyana. The minister is going to be here just now, and the 23 players will be awarded with their jerseys for the World Cup. Let's move on. We hosted Pitso Mosimane in studio on Wednesday. Had great conversations with him. I'm going to play you something that he had to say about Kaizer Chiefs and the man that is supposedly coming to Chiefs. You know, we do understand that, you know, there's issues at the moment and he hasn't signed. Coach Nabi, he knows him, he's met him. This is what Coach Pitso had to say about Nabi and whether he's a fit at Chiefs.
Good coach. He knows the stress. He knows the pressure to deliver. He done well. He won double trebles. Not many people have won double trebles. He got it in 2 years in a row.
You understand South African football and you understand a Kaizer Chiefs. Do you see a fit there?
I'm not sure, because I don't really know the quality of the players of Kaizer Chiefs. I hope he can do it.
I mean, he goes on, and you guys listen to it. This is a clip I'm giving you, but you know the context. You were listening to the show. That's what Pitso had to say. Pro, what do you make of that? Pitso says he's not sure. You know, he doesn't know the quality of the players at Chiefs right now, but he doesn't question that this is a solid coach.
Obviously, with Andile, any coach that wins the treble in a foreign country is not a Nampara of a coach. It shows that it's a quality coach. And for me, I understand for Coach Pitso, a coach that is coaching in foreign lands and has been bringing Champions League titles, has been winning league titles, has been winning promotions. This is a coach that knows what he's talking about. And we'll keep on saying the same thing about the quality of a Kaizer Chiefs squad, to say that this is the season that they need to turn around. They are fortunes. This is the season that they need to go to the transfer market and get the players.
Are you saying, if you're reading in between the lines of what Pitso's saying, are you saying you're reading in between the lines and there's no quality at Chiefs? Or there's no suitable quality at the level that it should be?
But Andile, the results are there for everyone to see. There's not enough quality at Kaizer Chiefs that can take them to the top, that can challenge Sundowns for 30 games. They were 22 points behind with Andile in the last season. So it's for everyone to see, and they did not do well in the league altogether. They lost 12 games, and this is not the Kaizer Chiefs that we know. This is not the Kaizer Chiefs that we saw in the 90s and in the 80s. So for me, Coach Pitso, he knows what he's talking about. And I just hope that they can resolve this coaching situation as soon as possible, because I saw that the players are back at Naturena and they'll be preparing for the new season. And if Atazwane continues to be the coach, let them come out, let them spell it out, let them tell the fans that Coach Atazwane will continue with the team instead of keeping everybody in the dark, because their fans are losing patience as well.
Before I go to you, Mkonza, I want to play this as well. Pitso Mosimane says there's no South African team that's spoken to him.
No South African team has spoken to me for the last 3 years.
Really?
No.
Not even a hey, how are you? Let's have lunch.
No, the hey, how are you? They're there. Nobody's giving us a deal on the table to say, okay, here's a deal at least. So what should I do now? Apply?
The other thing that Coach Pitso Mosimane says, and I did ask of this to say, we know Pitso's team. Yeah. He's even gotten now an Arabic-speaking goalkeeper coach. We know his fitness coach. We know all of that. He says, wherever I go with my team. And this was in relation to what we're hearing at Kaizer Chiefs and Coach Nabi bringing his team. He says in modern football, top coaches, you can't tell them whose team the team is.
You'll start to question integrity of a coach, because our coach, they have the trustees around them. Andile, it's important to have your team because they need to sing the same song that you are singing as a coach. Awufuna abantu abazokukata from behind bakwaze baklebe. I think it makes sense what Pitso is saying, and I've seen the top coach, Abo Pep Guardiola, Abo Pitso. These are the coaches that are top coaches. You need to give them whatever that they need in order to be able to give you a success. But again, going back to what you said, Ngonabi, I said Andile Fupegi success yake at Tanzania, a very impressive success at Tanzania. I mean, double treble is done so well. But again, if you look at Kaizer Chiefs in the last 8 years, they've had 6 coaches. Lama 6 coaches also reflect the promise not only.
That's a big turnaround.
Yeah, that's a big turnaround for a club like Chiefs. That means the very unstable. Chiefs have lost their culture. Chiefs have lost their culture, and that is why even the recruitment policy, they just sign any type of a player that doesn't fit into the how Chiefs plays or the system of how Chiefs needs to play. So those combinations, yes, we're blaming Oata for everything that has happened. But what is also key, you must look at the recruitment from the coaching, from the players, because now Kevin Hunt, all these other coaches that were brought to Chiefs were brought for immediate success. It never worked out. So man just says from scratch. I think Unabi, for me, if Azwagala, they need also to recruit quality players. I mean, there's no Chiefs player in the national team. What does that tell you?
It's interesting that Pilani is saying Chiefs don't have quality players. I remember when in January when they said
says they don't have enough quality.
Yes, but in January said they're almost there, and you supported him when they signed Christopher Saile. Remember? So now they don't have quality.
I don't remember.
No, I do remember very well. He was so
but
no, he did say
defend Pilani.
No, he said they're almost there.
Hold on, Pilani just said now that they don't have enough quality.
Exactly, but in January he said their quality is getting there. It's almost there.
They haven't signed.
Yes, but of course they will sign players.
They need 12 players. You said they need 12 players.
No, of course they do. They do need 12 players actually. On a serious note,
that's why 12 players.
Yeah, of course. Kaizer Chiefs needs a lot. I said they need 15 players. Then they signed 3. I said they need 12. They need a lot of players. If you
so right now,
yes,
in order to be a formidable team that competes in the league,
course,
how many players do they need?
They need 12.
Right now.
Yes.
For the new season.
The whole team, of course they do. They are not going to win the league or any trophy with this kind of players. Even if they get 1 or 2 players, they are far away from winning anything. When last did Kaizer Chiefs play in a final or actually become close in winning a cup final or actually winning the league? So they are very far. And the way
I hear it, but 12?
Yeah, they do. They need to reinforce serious. They've been doing things wrong. Look how, the same thing Pitso was talking about when he says the culture of how he comes with all the team. The coach actually is a very good coach, but he doesn't know if the quality of they don't have the kind of quality Kaizer Chiefs, and also the players that they have. The coach might say, okay, I need this one, I come with this one, and they might want to disagree with him. Hence, they want others wanted to be part of the team. That's the thing about Kaizer Chiefs. It's like there are a lot of people involved in running the team. Even in terms of the signing the players, the coach doesn't have a final say. So it's just difficult. I agree with Mkonza when he says they've lost their culture.
12 players, Mkonza?
12 players is a new team, Andile.
Is that what's needed?
I think for me now, if you look at the players that are there, you need to reinforce. 12 might not be the number, but for anything over 6, it's a new team. So Chiefs, I look at the squad, I'm like, one,
Remember, they've lost Ngezan also. Their start.
Yes, influence on my player corner. It hasn't been seen.
And Matoho, who
and Matoho
had a huge impact over the last couple of years.
Yes,
Maybe
yeah.
not this year.
Chances are no Ngobo corner, so they're losing.
So really, that's a brand new defense.
And the Chiefs, for me,
And offensively, they need everyone. Parker needs to be. Brilliant needs to go. Kuna needs to go. So many players at Kaizer Chiefs that they need to go. They're no longer performing.
So
No, they have to.
and
You know what makes Kaizer Chiefs not winning any trophies? They are too loyal to their players. Kuna, we know that they're gonna say we've decided to give him a 1-year contract with an option of further. He has not been a number one goalkeeper for Kaizer Chiefs for the past 3 years. Kama Pilet has been injured. I don't know for how many years. I don't know. Played less number of games, but they will stay somehow. I know. That they are not going to release them.
But again,
they'll only release players like the one that they've released now. Nange has been released. The players that they're not even either they are there or not. It doesn't make a difference. Austin Dube played 1 or 2 games.
Feel free to
They're
come
not
in
gonna.
here. I'm not hearing
They're
your
not
voice.
gonna release their players that are taking a huge sum of their salary and come so that they build a proper team. But that's the problem. with Kaizer
When you
Chiefs.
start looking at it, and I disagreed with Nadeem at the beginning when he said 12 players, but as he breaks it down now, we're getting close to 12 players.
Yeah, Nongshilo at Mina, Chiefs needs to overhaul Andile. It's important to look at the squad. They haven't delivered. I mean, 8 years younger, we've been blaming coaches, bringing coaches, but I'm a player. We haven't looked at them in depth. We ask again deeper. What is the influence of the players in terms of how they play? Hence the fact that there's no player in the national team. I know also the issue of coaching. My player needs to improve when he coaches.
And the experienced players are not delivering. Remember, Kune,
haven't.
Dolly, Billiet, those are their best players. Highest in us, they are not delivering, which is a problem.
But also, team like Chiefs, you need to build it around a serious experience. Players that have made so many appearances in a PSL,
Exactly.
they've won trophies in order to guide the youngsters. And I mean,
and players also who can still play.
It's always difficult for Pro Pilane to lend his ear in here because he's not in the studio with us, but all the way in Durban. Pro, let me open the way for you. Go for it.
It's not like Kaizer Chiefs will be competing in the CAF Champions League or CAF Confederations Cup to need 12 players. For me personally, I think that 5 quality players will add on what Kama Pilat can do, will add on what Kik and Tole can do, will add on what
can Kama Pilat do? What is it that they can do? What is that they can do, Kama Pilat? What is it that they can do?
As I was saying, they can get 5 players that can have those.
No, you need to answer. What is it that they can do?
Give him a chance to answer.
Yes.
How's he going to answer if you're not allowing him to?
Yeah, but
Go for it,
you need to start by saying Kama can do this.
Pro, sorry. Apologies for Yamazu last point line.
I know in those are gone. But anyway, as I was saying, Kama Pilat, he can still deliver for Kaizer Chiefs. Kiken Doli can still deliver for Kaizer Chiefs. Esther Tupri is there. Yusuf Mart is there. These are the players that can, if they can get 5 quality players, they can add on those numbers. And Kaizer Chiefs can be back to where they belong. And for me, I do feel that 12 players is a huge number. They are not going to Africa. They are not going to compete in any serious competition outside of the borders of South Africa. They'll just play 30 games.
To ask you the question,
what can Kama do?
To ask you the question that Nadeem is asking, you're mentioning Kama, you're mentioning Dolly, and then I look at the last 2-3 seasons, and I'm like, if this is what Kama's given me in 3 seasons, what more are you expecting coming the following season? I think that's what
Kama Pilat has been hugely affected by injuries, but Andile. We cannot hide from that, and it's not his own fault. It's because he creates opportunities for Kaizer Chiefs. Hence, he's one of the most fouled players. Hence, he's one of the most tackling players. And you understand when you watch Kaizer Chiefs play that Kama Pilat brings his individual brilliance.
No, it's his fault. Why was it not his fault?
No, it's not his fault when players are tackling him from behind. It's not his fault. It means that he gets into the right areas, and he is always there to support and to provide assist for fellow teammates. So for me, a fit Kama Pilat is better than anyone at Kaizer Chiefs. But
why was he not getting those injuries at Sundowns? Why was Kama Pilat not getting those injuries at Sundowns? At Sundowns was the player of the season, was scoring a lot of goals, was the most dangerous player in the PSL.
No, but to be honest with you, at Sundowns he was also getting injuries. And
never 6 months, never stayed 6 months without playing. That's not true. No, that's not even the truth to that one.
I'm going to close all your mics. I'm going to close all your mics because this conversation on Kaizer Chiefs is closed now. We're lagging behind in the stories that we've got to go, but I'd love to see it continue on social media. Remember, it's hashtag SNAWA, SNAWA, which is Sports That Amplified with Andile. Hashtag Podcast Fridays. Let's move on to another one. Did you know that Ranga Chibabiro was South African, Nadim?
I didn't know. I only heard it from you guys, you and Dr. Komalo and Mkonza on that show on
That's
SABC1.
where we learned.
Yes. From
Bro, did you know?
Matzilan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, big shout out to Mazilana because he alerted all South Africans. So big shout out to Mazilana.
Yeah.
Pro, were you aware?
Can you repeat again? Andile was aware. I was aware that he was South African. Remember, I'm a researcher for SABC Sports, so I know this thing.
Well, I want to play this very quickly before we go to the ads. I mean, there's a huge conversation about where's he going, who does he belong to right now. This is what Ranga said when we spoke to him about being a Marumo Gallants player.
Honestly speaking, I'm still a Marumo Gallant player, and like you said, it's speculation, and someone out there is just trying to, put food on their table, which I respect. But I'm sure when Ranga knows where his next move will be, everyone's gonna know. But as of now, because I like to speak of the current situation as of now, and I like to speak of what I have in my hands, which is Marumo Gallant. Ranga Chibabiro is a Marumo Gallant player. Until that changes, I am still a Marumo Gallant player.
But then I asked him about the pre-contract that is said to be signed with Richards Bay, who've now come out and said, this is our player. This is what Ranga had to say.
About that, conversations, yes, but I don't want to get much into that. I think the bottom line to everything is Ranga Chibabiro belongs to Marumo Gallant.
And I respect that with all due. I just want to know, did you sign a pre-contract with Richards Bay? Was there, because I know talks is one thing, but was there a pre-contract signed?
Andile, let me not comment on that.
Okay.
Because I do not want to, cause a lot of confusion and everything. But let me just say, Orang belong to Marumo.
All right, we're almost infringing on callers' times right now, so let's run through it. Lastly, Ranga Chibabiro spoke about, but before that, so Maritzburg United, as I was still telling the story, rather not Maritzburg United, but Richards Bay, have come out, and you can read the article on sabcsport.com, written by Mazolo Molefe, and he simply says, he signed with us. He belongs to us, and any club that wants him must speak to Chairman Jomo Biela of Richards Bay. I asked him, I asked him, and he said, no, he doesn't want to talk about it. I said, did you sign anything? He didn't quite answer me that. So I then asked him again about a photo shoot that was happening in Echuren. Because at the time that he was in Joburg, there was a photo shoot at Kaizer Chiefs. Trying to link him to see if he knows anything about that. This is what Ranga Chibabiro had to say.
You're in Joburg at the moment, and there's a team having a photo shoot. Did you go for a photo shoot today? Was there makeup on your face?
I'm just cool.
You didn't come to Joburg at all?
I was in Joburg earlier on to see my mom, because my mom is in Joburg.
Oh, so there was...
I've been in Secunda, and my mom, because my daughter stays with her.
So there was no photo shoot for you today?
Yeah, so there were school papers that I also needed to sign. Then I went to Joburg, and then I came back.
He's not answering me, this guy.
So there was no photo shoot when you were in Joburg? You went to the kid and straight back to Secunda?
There was no
photo shoot. You didn't have makeup on your face today?
Say that again?
Photo shoot. You didn't have makeup on your face today?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, nice one.
So that was the conversation there. So let's talk about Ranga Chibabiro. 10 goals in South African League, double figures, which is very rare. And then 7 out of 10 on continental football. Very quickly, Nadim, he's been linked to Kaizer Chiefs. He says he knows nothing about that. Richards Bay say we own this player. What do you make of Ranga and everything that's going on around him?
I think it's dishonest. I'm wondering that at 30 years he can still be telling, because now that's the time where he can get a very good contract as a PSL player. Has not been like regular, playing in the professional football. It's the first time he actually scored 10 goals. So I'm wondering, why did he lie to you, or he was not honest that yes, I signed a pre-contract, but there are a lot of offers. I wasn't aware when I signed a pre-contract. Now that a lot of teams will come after me, I don't know what to do now. Because I
signed. You think that's the case?
Yes, he should have lied. He should have. Of course, Richards Bay, I don't think they will lie and say the player signed a pre-contract with them. They are telling the truth.
Because then it's a matter of...
Yes, they can even produce it, yes. So now he sees that Chiefs or other big teams are after him. Of course, it will be a lot of money that he was going to in at Richards Bay. So now he's trying to play game. It's unfortunate that PSL players like lying like this. That's why so many agents, sometimes they end up deserting their players and say, I can't keep up with this because they are so dishonest. I once talked with Jasmine, with one of the big players in the PSL, was always like doing this kind of things. It's actually not right.
Pro?
But Andile, Uranga is a Richards Bay player. He needs to come out and he needs to speak the truth so that he will save everybody trouble. We don't want to see Chiefs being banned again. We want a strong Kaizer Chiefs. We are serious about Kaizer Chiefs this season. And in Richards Bay, I know that the record is services. He was not aware of he's going to be.
When you say you know, you got to give us more. How do you know? What do you know?
Well, according to a lot of digging that we have done, Richards Bay, they are certain that they've signed the player. And when James Dlamini spoke to SABC, who called the FM last night, he assured us that he's got the papers, that they've signed the player. And they're willing to negotiate if anyone wants to sign Ranga, and they must speak to them. So Ranga must be honest to himself, must be honest to Kaizer Chiefs, and he must be honest to Richards Bay, so that we don't see these squabbles in our football. He needs to come out and he needs to save everybody trouble.
And it's very simple. I think Ranga la.
But Mkwanza, you know it's not simple. You know that teams don't allow you to do that. They don't allow you to just speak, hey, this is what's happening in my life.
Yeah, they don't allow Andile, but also if James Dlamini comes out and say, oh, Andile, you've signed with us in a pre-contract yako, that means anybody, if Uranga is a player Marumo Kalans, then people will speak to Marumo Kalans when they want him. But if they have to go through Richards Bay, that means he's a player for Richards Bay. I'm a player. We've all been in these situations where Andile will lie and say no.
When is the contract expiring? End of June.
Yeah, end of June.
Or maybe he's right. He's still now. Then he's going to report for training.
June. Yeah.
July is going to report.
He's not wrong with that. He's still signed.
Yes. So but then man, James Dlamini,
you think he's a good fit to Chiefs?
Yeah,
he would be if he goes.
If you look at the Chiefs, the number 9 is difficult to find. Chief Avira will be a right fit.
Let's see. I'm not convinced that is a solution to Kaizer Chiefs. Remember, Kaizer Chiefs, they have to win the league. They're not playing to avoid relegation or to be in the top 8.
So should I say it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, 10 goals. But still, Kaizer Chiefs, they need more than that. They need a higher quality than Ranga. I don't think it's a solution for Kaizer Chiefs to win the league with him. No, no, I don't think so.
We've got to move on from these conversations. We're giving ourselves just 3 minutes to go through this, so it's a minute each until we take in your calls on 086 000 2160, WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. The greatest of all time. We're announcing Banyana Banyana this evening, and I want to know, who is the greatest Banyana Banyana player of all time, of all the players that have played, all the big names that you know of? They're going to the World Cup right now. If we're to say this is the Dr. Kumalo, because for me, that's the GOAT. For Banyana Banyana, the greatest of all time, the best that's ever done it. Mkwanza, who is the GOAT? Women's football player in South African history.
I think Fanning highlighted an important part Kala before he show his sequence Mama player. One, how influential they've been, inspiration to the team, and obviously role within the tactical confines. Those are 3 key elements.
Those are your elements that help you choose, okay?
Because I know standard man numbers, stats and all that. Yes, stats are important, they give us useful feedbacks. But for me, Posha Mdise, I kumli crown Posha. I think
number 1. That's the greatest
number
player.
1 for me.
Okay.
And then number 2, it will be Veronica Pewa. Of course. Pipe. Number 3, it will be Bambanani Mbane.
Really?
I think she has taken the role of a centre back into different level, especially for women soccer. She has done so well. She played in all 4 matches. Go AFCON. We've kept 75% of a clean sheet. Go AFCON. But also for me at 32. She does all the multifunctional defensive roles. I mean, screening, blocking, tackling without making a foul. She's a modern defender. Veronica Pewa, okay, in reference to Skarangobes, they used to play on the left, dribbling, combination play. You know how much they stretch the block. For me, those are typical South African players. Uposha will represent all these other elements because she's a symbol of South African football.
So number 1, Posha Mdise here. Nadim?
Number 2,
greatest female player, women's player ever in South Africa.
Okay, for me 3, I'll start with Noko Mahlo.
Number 3, Noko, who's still playing at the moment.
Yes, he's still playing, and I think he's done a lot. 167 caps doesn't come easily. And then number 2, I'll go with Refile Jane. The fact that he's for the past decade he's been consistent in the team, he's gonna even captain the team to the World Cup. We know for sure that she's in the squad.
In the squad, yeah.
Exactly. And then number 3, I have
number
to go.
1.
Number 1, Posha Modise for me, she was that good.
Pashin.
Yeah, she was that good, man. Even if you can introduce him to a male team, she was going to play. That's how good she was.
Ukabo.
Who? Ukabo's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Posha is in a
No,
different
list yakho uthina use
Yeah, no. Because she's Ukabo. Because she's no.
Bro.
In respect to her.
I know Andile umkhonzo ntshontshe list yami. Awuyakho ushithi umkhonzo wayekho fela esikoleni. That's my list. Ilist yami umkhonzo list yami.
Kahle wena.
Exactly the same.
Posha Modise is the greatest female footballer that we have ever seen in this country, and it's going to take us quite a time to have a player as good as her. Veronica Pewa, Besimbizo Vero, Durban Ladies superstar, top female footballer on the left hand side, and Ujuso Bantwana at the back, Bambana Nimbani. I think for me, I know when Santos Ladies is playing, she's solid at the back. Banyana Banyana, she's solid at the back. Those are the top three.
No Amanda Dlamini in this team.
No, I did tell you about
no
that. Amanda is
team.
in the top 5.
Andile Dlamini?
Andile is the goalkeeper.
Janine van Wyk?
There have been a lot of great Banyana Banyana players if you look at profile, but you said 3.
All right, here's
I mean, even
another one
Janine van Wyk, we didn't put her.
We asked Fran Hilton-Smith what her top 3 would be.
Yeah.
Malcolm, let's play on our WhatsApp. It's there. Fran Hilton-Smith.
Well, to pick the best player ever in Banyana is impossible. There's so many. But if we look at the players who put Banyana, made them a household name, we have to include Portia Modise, Desiree Ellis, and Veronica Pewa. They made the sport household names, but there's so many I could list them all day.
I mean, in top 3, only one differs from the two of you guys, but it's obviously unanimous on Portia Modise. We have some voice notes. You can send us yours as well on 06055273003. Let's take a couple and then take some calls on 086-000-2160. Malcolm.
Good evening, studio team. In response to Maritzburg boss, I vehemently believe his castigating speech was fueled by titanic anger. His club failed to accumulate adequate points during the normal activities as their games were dominated by preponderance of 14 defeats. Eventually, he expects miracle to crop up in the nick of time. Maritzburg United has been finishing the season on a mediocre note, surviving relegation by fluke all those previous years. That should have served as a premonition for imminent relegation. Malro to witness Mpatlele. Cheerio.
That Mpatlele today could no
HD.
That Mpatlele man, no, you're right. You must come into the studio. Well, spot on. Today we agree with you. We don't have to go from now on. Can that dictionary and Mpatlele?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
Good evening, Andile and the crew. There is Papa Princess at Bloemfontein. I want to applaud the former captain Simpiwe Mkhoza for being honest. Thank you, brother, for being honest. As for Maritzburg United, let them go to the graveyard and rest. Rona as Bloemfontein and Celtic, we know the pain. We know the pain, but for the manager to say whatever he said, those are the lame excuses. They must go to the graveyard and rest. Bye, Maritzburg United.
Good evening, Andile, and all your crew there. What is Maritzburg chairman trying to say? Sometimes it's true and sometimes it's false, but some players are not serious with their jobs, like Edwin Jima did in the 2020 season against Black Leopards and Sundowns. Just walk away and come back on the same radio and telling us he was mistreated, there was no water, there are no bananas, this and that. But players must take responsibility, because always fire coaches and say the coach doesn't do his job, but most players sell games. This is Mr. Explorer Andile.
Right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, Bashan, let Bashan go.
From the Val, firstly, just to say, whoever gets the nod in the Banyana Banyana last 23 squad, wish them all the best in the World Cup. Coming to Kaizer Chiefs, I think this team is the biggest team in Africa, in South Africa, needs a major overhaul. And I think they must give another at least two seasons to coach Arthur to show up with quality players.
Thank you so much, John. I want to take some calls now, Malcolm. Please, let's take Usbongeleni out in KZN. Bo.
Maaf.
Yes, sir.
Unjani bhuti?
Qasithala sumqemane na amajita.
Bengifuna ukukhuluma no Dr. Mnandi. Mnandi.
Nkunzi yami.
Right bhuti omdala.
Basho kanjalo, bathi ngimnandi.
Hayi nami ngibona umnandi bhuti omdala, ngithanda iqiniso kuwena. Hey.
Ngiyabonga bhuti.
Ngithanda iqiniso, bengifuna ungiclarify something la bhuti omnandi, because sengize ngakwazi ukuthi ngikhulume nawe. iChiefs uthiwa kuno coach ekhuluma naye. Let's put it straight, unathi. Negotiator nonathi. While on the other side, they still got an existing coach, Atazwan. Is that professional from a big team like Kaizer Chiefs Mnandi ukuthi ngakwazi ukuthi iringe nomunye umjida ngala while kunomjido sakhona osaphusha ispan? I don't get it because I think the right way which way they're supposed to do this thing was to get rid of Uata if they see that he don't do what they need from him. and then talk to
All right. Okay, I see Mkonzo, you're going to answer in a bit. I want to take another one here. We've got Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yep.
Yes, Maka Udo, Hogamu, or no good.
Kim Nat, Belen.
Skizo, Fida.
Out here, Comnati.
The Munato problem.
Yeah, I was always in fit.
He's going to maybe they are Bonang. A new coach will never sign with Kaizer Chiefs. Skizo, why easy? Arnagopatela.
Why? Yo, guys, I'm going to never leave you. That's it. I've got to go live on TV. So for the very first time, listen to this. You get to shut the show down. Kwanzaa. I'm out.
Yeah. Walter.
No, basically I was telling you, the Chiefs are not going to hire a coach.
Yeah. So ushukuthi lento le ama media azikhulumela nje ukuthi
yeah, maybe lokho ngabuza lo waqala uthe what do you think about Chiefs talking to another coach while they have another coach?
Look, unfortunately it seems like Chiefs a coaching job comes with expiry date. One, if there's no result, they always gonna go out and look for coaches. Even the players know if we don't deliver, what happens, they'll sign new players. So sometimes, yes, it's not correct from the contractual point of view, but I believe that teams like Chiefs, they can make changes regardless of whether you have a contract or not. It's prompted by AMA results, right?
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So Dixon.
Hola.
Oh, grand out jam.
Ngimnandi.
Hayi ne out jam khambani.
Yeah. Ngifuna ukukhuluma ngala team ayi-2 Chiefs ne Pirates, ne. Look.
Yeah.
At this moment, as South African team, our ambition should be to conquer the African continent. We can't be buying players for 350,000, 1.2 million. You get 5 players for 8 million. You know, if I was Chiefs, you see Chinese Mayo.
Yeah.
I was going to break the bank for that boy. I'm telling you. It's about time. I'm telling you, I was going to. That boy is still young. He can still offer you another 10 years. And you know one other thing. They're busy bragging about being the biggest team in the continent, in the country. I mean, there's a deal that you can reach with even Chinese Mayo.